Hello, friends. A quick editing note as Adam. Brock, it's not Brock's fault, but there was an issue with the recording, and Brock is really quiet in the episode. So apologies in advance for that. I can't fix it without just making it sound awful. So sorry. I don't know. Enjoy. Welcome. Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Jump Ball. It's season 8, it's episode 2. A quick little shout out to the buddy Bryce for hosting our season opener. But now we're back to, I guess, our regularly scheduled programming. I'll be hosting this week. I'm Adam. I got two little skunks with me. Two fucking skunks.
Wait, I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
Well, you got skunked, so far this season.
No wins.
Yeah, no wins for you guys yet, so you're a bunch of skunks. This is AJ and Brock.
What does that make? Yeah. What does that make you?
Champion.
Oh, okay, right. Easy. Yeah.
Yeah, like Champion and Skunk, the classic tale of the champion and the skunks.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
Yeah, it's a classic. I'll apologize in advance. I got a little mucus thing going on in my sinuses, so I sound a little funky. Or if I cough, I'll try to not cough. But
into the mic.
Well, I'm going to try to not do that, ideally. But no guarantees. So fellas, let's talk about basketball, shall we? So this is season 8 of Jump Ball. This is a new season, and generally in the NBA, new seasons come with new players, rookies. Obviously, this year a lot of talk about Victor Wembanyama for next year. He's obviously going to be the number 1 overall pick, no matter where that happens. And so the number 1 pick is really important, It's the generational talent, the franchise saver. Those are the types of guys that get picked number 1. And so today we're going to talk about number 1 overall draft picks. So we are going to have 7 questions in the first round where the answer will be a player that was selected number 1 overall in their draft. I'm not going to give you multiple choice. I'm just going to give you some information about a player. You got to tell me who he is. And it'll be a guy who was picked number 1 at some point. There's going to be 2 points available. If you can tell me the name of who I'm talking about, and then also if you can tell me the year that they got drafted number 1 overall, then I'll give you a little bonus point. And then in the second round, we'll do something else. But it'll be about number 1 overall picks as well. So, any questions? How you feeling? How you guys doing? I kind of just started this episode.
Yeah, no, I feel like you're leaving out details of the final round on purpose. I'm curious what the final round is going to be. Adam reinvents the final round quite a bit.
This one's not super inventive, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is pretty standard fare.
That's good. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to skunk it up. Get a win, maybe a loss. I don't know yet.
Most likely a loss. Statistically, you are aimed for a loss, but
Statistically, I'm never gonna be a stats guy. I'm an eye test guy, not in the box scores.
Yeah, AJ does all the little things, right?
Yeah, I'm a glue guy. He's
a glue guy.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, I'm rooting for you, and I'm willing to fudge the numbers of the game to get you a win today. So with that, let's get started with another episode of Jump Ball. Question number 1. Originally picked by the Portland Trail Blazers, he went on to win 2 NBA championships and has a son who currently plays for the Golden State Warriors. Who is he? And what year was he picked number 1 overall? Originally picked by the Trailblazers, two-time NBA champion, and his son currently plays for the Warriors. A lot of silence. A lot of silence for this first question.
Is this a tricky? Is this bait?
It is.
Is this bait?
It's so.
I can only think of the bait. I'm gonna be honest, I can only. There might be. Is there a young? Oh man, is there a young guy on that Warriors bench? I can't think about because I'm stuck on the bait. I'm probably gonna have to lock in the bait.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in. Let's just keep it moving. I'm locked.
All right. Brock locked in first, and we'll go to him first. Brock?
I know what you want me to say. I know what AJ locked in with. I know you want me to say Gary Payton, but I don't think he would pick number one or even picked by the Trailblazers. So that left me with either Dell Curry or Michael Thompson, Clay's dad. And I think Dell was drafted by the Hornets, definitely not a number one overall pick. So that left me with Michael Thompson, Clay's dad. I don't know if I know he was a Laker. I didn't know he was drafted by the Blazers, if this is true. And then year throughout 1980.
All right, AJ?
Yeah, I locked in Gary Payton. I really don't feel like he's the number one overall pick. But I didn't think it would be Steph or Clay's dads. So I'm like, there's a lot of young guys deep in that Warriors roster, like G League people, yada, yada, yada. Maybe one of them has a dad. I'm thinking number one got drafted by the Blazers, but then like traded immediately. I'm thinking he wasn't a career Blazer. Otherwise, I hope I'd remember him or be able to think of him. So I locked in Gary Payton. I honestly forgot about the year until Brock said it. So to keep it fair, I did not lock in a year.
That's okay. If you did throw out a year for Gary Payton, you're not going to be close to the actual year that I was looking for. So It's all good. Yeah, the correct answer was Michael Thompson, Clay's dad.
Yeah, number one overall pick. Wow.
Number one overall pick out of Minnesota.
Golden Gopher.
He was a Golden Gopher. Went to the Blazers, played a couple years there, and went to the Lakers for the most of his career. Won a couple chippies there. So Brock did get that point. Brock was a couple years off on the year. It was 1978 when Michael Thompson was drafted number one.
Dang. But yeah. So did he? Is he pretty good? I don't know much about his dad.
Center, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a big. He was like fine. He didn't. I don't think he ever made an All-Star game or anything. But he was like a good, sixth man.
That makes sense.
Fringe starter.
Yeah, it makes sense with the times for number one pick then. Center.
Yeah. So Brock takes the early 1-0 lead here, and on to number two. He was the second internationally born number one overall pick, and he retired as a member of the Toronto Raptors. Who is he? And what year was he picked?
He retired as a Raptor?
Correct.
I'm locked in.
Brock is locked in for the second internationally born player to be taken number one overall and then eventually retired as a member of the Raptors.
I'm locked.
All right. A lot of wheels turning for AJ on the first couple questions here, but AJ, we'll go to you first.
A lot of wheels turning because I get a guy. So far, both questions I've gotten a guy in my head, and then I just can't get off him. So I'm not that confident again. But I was like, I just tried to picture old, like NBA legends who at the last minute were a Raptor, but clearly really old, and then maybe just retired after that year. Hakeem Olajuwon was in the Raptor jersey, and he was internationally born. So I went Hakeem because like I just couldn't get him out of my head. So I was like, all right, he's my guy.
And did you put a year?
Oh, you want me to- No, I'm gonna write it on my paper. I'll get it next time, Adam. I'll get it next time.
All right, that's okay. That's okay.
It's
Hey,
9.
Brock?
It's still 9 in the morning over here, man. It's early.
We're recording early today.
Still waking up.
I also went with Hakeem. And then my year, it should be the 84 draft class. Number 1 overall pick, then Sam Bowie, then Michael.
All right. Well, giving out quite a few points here because Hakeem Olajuwon, the greatest center of all time, is correct.
That's not true.
And of course, it was the 1984 draft. So AJ gets a point on the board. Brock gets 2, putting Brock up 3-1. If you're curious who the first foreign-born NBA, if anybody was going to ask that question, you don't have to. But
Yeah, who was the first foreign-born, Adam? Tell me.
AJ, thanks, man. So Hakeem obviously is from Nigeria. The first foreign-born player to be drafted number 1 overall was born in the Bahamas. Went to high school in Florida, and that would be Michael Thompson, Clay's dad.
Full circle.
Whoa.
We went full circle.
Whoa.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Hey, follow-up
Dang.
questions can do that sometimes. You know, keep.
That's a
Keep
pro
asking.
trivia host right there. That's pro move.
You know, I
Yeah.
I do what I can. All right, so Brock's up 3-1. Going into question number 3, a little bit longer of a read here, so bear with me. Drafted by the Atlanta Hawks and becoming only one of 6 players to have a 70-point game, he suffered a career-ending knee injury after being thrown down the stairs at a Manhattan disco club. After getting clean of his $1,000 a day cocaine habit after he retired, he became a committed Christian and then went and played in one of those NBA Legends All-Star game things that they had and got carried off on a stretcher after he broke his leg again. Who is he?
What? Wow. Okay.
I
You
know, a
had a
storied
full life.
career, storied life. Scored 70
okay.
points in a game. Only 6 people have done that. That's a big part of this. Had a $1,000 a day cocaine habit, and then had to get stretchered off during. Oh, I wrote here, but I forgot to say during the last NBA Legends All-Star activity, and this is part of the reason they canceled that. It's because him and then there was another guy also during that game who like had an awful injury and also had to be stretchered off.
Oh
So they had to stretcher off 2 of the legends. Yeah.
He was drafted by the Hawks.
Drafted by the Hawks.
Okay, I'm locked in. This is the least confident I felt all day with my answer. The absolute least confident.
I am locked.
AJ, do you have a year written down? Just checking.
I do. I got one. I got
All right.
it. It's a total
Okay.
random year, but I have it.
I'm just trying to help. Yeah. Maybe we'll look into something there. Brock, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, like I said, least confident I felt all day. I don't really know, but with one of the Hawks, it had to be a high draft pick. I also couldn't tell you when this guy played. I have no idea, but I went with Dominique Wilkins. I don't know if he had a knee injury. I really don't. Dominique Wilkins to me is one of those guys I just kind of know about, but I don't know anything about. Like, I couldn't tell you when he got drafted, when he retired, if he played for the Hawks his entire career. But I went with Dominique, and I went with the '88 draft class.
All right, and AJ.
So I got stuck between Wilkins and then I love a good Bob Pettit, right? He was a Hawk. Maybe I'm really torn. I'm like, who was the born again Christian, Bob Pettit or Dominique Wilkins? But then what made me go Wilkins was the Legends game. I just want to say timeline wise, Bob Pettit would probably be too old, way too old to be in the final Legends game. Granted, that's why he broke his leg. But I went Dominique Wilkins. I also don't know a ton about his years. So I went early 80s. I just went 1981 because I don't know.
All right. Well, unfortunately, folks, I'm not giving out any points here. Nobody got anything right. The guy we're talking about, it's interesting because he was drafted by the Hawks in the NBA draft, number 1 overall. He also was drafted number 1 overall in the ABA draft to the Virginia Squires. He never played a game for either of those teams. He instead, I don't know how he was allowed to do this. I don't know how he was.
Get this?
I don't know.
How are we possibly going to answer this question? He didn't play for the team. He didn't play for the ABA team.
I said he was drafted by the Hawks, and he was.
I know. Yeah, he was.
The Hawks drafted him. The Squires drafted him. He didn't play for him. Instead, he decided to play for the Denver Nuggets, which is where most of his career took place. It's a guy that a lot of people, when they hear the name, they think it's probably Clay's dad. But it's not Clay's dad. It's David Thompson.
Damn. Damn. That's
So, like that name does almost nothing for me. Like,
Really?
I barely know David Thompson.
really does nothing for me. I couldn't. That's crazy that he scored 70 points.
Yeah, he had like a 72 or 3-point game, I think.
As soon as you said Nuggets, I was like, holy shit, is it Alex English?
No, he's 4-time All-Star. You know, he was a hooper. I almost gave.
What were your years?
Oh, he was drafted in 75. And then until like the early 80s, he was really good. So,
What a story.
But, yeah, he had a cocaine thing going on, and you know, he was really good. He was really good. What if I told you in the question that this guy's nickname was Skywalker? Would that have done anything for you?
No.
Because I almost said that,
just
and I was
gone
like, well, they're
Bob Pettit.
definitely going to get that.
Skywalker's a sick name. Sick name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want to hear something? If you don't think he was very good, if everybody thinks David Thompson wasn't very good,
No one thinks that. I just don't know the guy.
Bill
I haven't had a
Walton,
thought about him before.
Bill Walton described David Thompson as, quote, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, and LeBron James all rolled into one player.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
High praise. High praise.
How are we not talking about this guy more? Dang.
Well, because, you know, he kind of had a drug addiction and kind of, you know, had a little bit of shame from that and had to exit the league and, you know, all that stuff. He also, he also was like a domestic abuser.
Oh,
And that's like part of like, but then when he was born again, that was part of why, I guess. So I don't know. I'm not here to make character judgments, I suppose, but
interesting guy.
I'm just here to make judgments on scores, and I can tell you no points awarded there. So
That's fair.
on to question number 4, Brock retaining a 2-point lead. A two-time NBA All-Star, He won a co-rookie of the year award and was the 51st player in NBA history to reach 9,000 career rebounds. Who is he?
It was the 51st? Is that what you said?
51st player in NBA history to pull down 9,000 career boards.
Gosh, I'm not liking any of my answers today, but I'm locked. Yeah.
I'm also locked.
A quick aside. Oh. Okay. A quick aside. Do you guys hear my mic? Is that picking up the outside?
I was gonna say, I think I hear some giggling from somebody.
Yeah, no. Well, let me shut that. So if we open the windows and it's open just a sliver, but okay, we can redo that.
No, I'm leaving it in. It sounded spooky.
Leaving in the giggles? Okay.
Yeah, it
all right.
sounded spooky. I kind of liked it.
There's a bunch of kids playing outside.
I just could hear like
Rascals. Yeah. Complex is full of kids and dogs. They're all over the place.
Ah.
I'm locked in.
So you're both locked in? Is that where we sit?
Yeah.
Was that a yes, AJ?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I just heard it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what that means. All right.
Still thinking about the giggling. Sorry. I'm ready.
We'll go to AJ first.
Okay. Oh, man. Co-rookie MVP. When I hear that, I always just think of Grant Hill. Hope I'm not mixing him up with somebody else, but I always think of Grant Hill. I'm like, I know he had injuries towards the end of his career, so he sidelined a lot. So 9,000 boards. But if you're 51st, it's not that crazy. When I was writing the Jerry Stackhouse deep pulls thing, when I was working on that, it was really good in Detroit. It was really good. So Grant Hill, after year 2001. I have a toss up there, early 2000s. 90s.
Okie doke. Brock?
So there's been 2 co-rookie of the years handed out, and one was Grant Hill and Jason Kidd, which I don't think either one of them would have been that high to get rebounds that quickly. So then there's another one. I don't know. I know Steve Francis was a part of it. I couldn't tell you the other guy. So I don't, like I said, I didn't think Grant Hill or Jason Kidd could have done it. So I went Steve Francis. I bet it's the other guy that I can't think of. But I'm going Steve Francis, and I went 91 draft class.
All right. Well, Brock was on a really good track there because it was the other guy. Yeah, it wasn't Steve Francis. It was the other guy who won co-rookie of the year in the year 2000. So it would have been the 99 draft. So no dice on any years for anybody. But that would be Elton Brand.
Oh, damn.
Once again, that name does nothing for me.
That's crazy.
I mean, I recognize it. I recognize the name,
now
but
because he's a co-rookie of the year, like that's it though. Like you give me Elton Brand, Steve Francis. I mean, that's about it.
I
I
think
always
part
think
of
Elton Brand. I always think Elton Brand was drafted way earlier. I always think he's an old player. I think it's just his name.
he does
Yeah, he
sound
sounds
old.
old.
I think part of why I wanted to do this is because I think that historically the number 1 overall pick, the little fiasco is a little overblown. You know, like there's a lot of very average number 1 picks. If anything, most of them end up being like good to average players. You know, like an Elton Brand. I don't know what I'm trying to say by that. But throughout my research, I was always just like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like fine guys on here, but like very rarely
You're
is
saying-
it like a legend that changes everything.
You saying that could be Victor Wembanyama? Is that?
I am saying that. I am saying
It
that.
finally comes out.
Oh, he's not on the Vic train.
I think Victor probably is going to be really good, but I also think that everybody in the media right now is being silly because if any of them were smart, they would just say Victor's going to be a bust because on the off chance that you're right, you're then the only fucking person that called it.
Yeah. That same thing with Luka. There's those compilations on YouTube, people saying Luka's not number one overall, and then they play like the clown music. So
yeah, I mean, he could end up with some clown music. That's comes with the territory, I suppose. But you know, I'm not totally sold on the Victor thing. He's probably going to be really good, but who knows?
There's a pretty good chance he's going to get injured.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's possible. With Elton Brand, I just wanted to say I'm looking at his basketball reference page right now, and he has some of the funniest nicknames because basketball reference goes deep on their nicknames, you know? And so I'm just gonna go through these. EB, that one's tame.
Okay.
Old school Chevy.
Okay. Yeah, I already love it.
Horse.
Horse.
Slant.
Ooh, he's got that slant.
Yeah, you get a slant, I guess. And then the last one, which might be one of my favorite nicknames I've ever heard. Chief Beef.
Chief Beef. That's a great name.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. All right, so no points awarded there. Still 3-1 in favor of Brock as we go into question number 5. The first European drafted number 1 overall. He had a relatively underwhelming career, but David West said in the year 2020 that if this player was playing today, he'd be one of the most dominant scorers in the league.
I've definitely heard about this person. I'm already doing my explanation because I'm not going to come up with the name, but I have definitely heard about this person. Stories. Oh man, you got it? Okay.
All right, who's up? I forgot.
Wait, is AJ locked in?
Yeah. Wait, I think you're right.
Yeah,
Aren't you, AJ?
I have a European name. I'm not going to think of the guy, but I've definitely heard about him. Let's use.
All right, let's go to Brock.
All right, so this is, to my knowledge, I guess I couldn't tell you another European number 1 overall pick. This guy was the biggest bucket in 2K. Like, this guy is busted, and I do think if he was in the league today, he would be really, really good. And that has to be Andrea Bargnani. Drafted by the Raptors, number 1 overall, if I'm not mistaken. And then the year I went with like early 2000. I went with like 05.
Okie doke and AJ.
Oh shit! Did I miss? Do you say first European drafted number 1 overall, or just first European drafted?
Number 1 overall.
That is the episode.
Oh, I know. I got that now. I missed that. Yeah, I don't know where I went. I think I left the podcast for a second. I went just a European man named Arvydas Sabonis. Not drafted number 1 overall at all. I never forgot about the whole context here. I wasn't going to come up with Bargnani, but I do recognize the name. Yes, I have heard of him. Shout out Sabonis.
All right. Well, and I assume whatever year you wrote down, AJ, is probably not going to be very close because the correct answer is Andrea Bargnani, drafted by the Raptors in 2006. So 1 year off for Brock. So only 1 point to Brock there, taking his lead 4-1. Yeah, Bargnani. Not a lot to say about the guy. When I was trying to write this question, I was like, yeah, there's not much fucking interesting about him. Like, he showed up and he was like, fine, I guess.
Really?
Stretch 5, man.
How many years did he play?
He played a decent length of years. Let me pull that back up. He played 10 years.
Not very long.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, not crazy. Career averaged 14 and 4.5. Not bad.
Pretty good.
He mostly
Yeah.
played on the perimeter, from what I remember.
Yeah.
From him. He was a stretch five, so he didn't get a whole ton of boards. Which, as tall as he was, he should have gotten more rebounds.
Yeah, that tended to be the issue is that of when I was reading, there was a lot of articles about just like why he failed. That's most of what is out there about him. And it's like, yeah, he was like a good shooter and he could even like score fine on the inside. But like for a 7-footer, he like couldn't play defense inside or rebound at all. And then so they would like try and turn him into like a wing player, but he's 7 foot, so he wasn't fast enough. So he's just an absolute liability.
Yeah. God, he would have been so cool though if he was really good.
He
Yeah.
could be Victor Wembanyama. Ex Banyani.
Hey, I'm not saying there's no precedent
Fully
for it.
realized.
Webby can move
Fully
like
realized
Webby,
Banyani.
7'4". Bargnani could never dribble like Webby can.
I don't know, man. All right.
He was busted in 2K. He could rebound in 2K. That's the only thing I'll say.
That's all that matters, really. He's immortalized that way. All right. Brock's up 4-1. On to question number 6. Picked number 1 by the Warriors and getting 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. He then spent his career on 12 different NBA teams, tied for the second most of all time. And he also once released a rap album under his rap name, Joe Beast.
Warriors, huh?
Because there weren't any immediate locks, I'm going to do what I think is fun, and I'm just going to read all the teams he played for in order,
Okay.
because maybe that'll spark something, maybe not. Warriors, 76ers, Timberwolves, Pistons, Timberwolves, Bucks, Nuggets, 76ers, Bulls, Cavs, OKC, Cleveland, Atlanta, the Nets, Lakers. That was that man's career.
I'm locked in. I kind of knew when Adam was introing this episode that we weren't gonna get, the LeBron James #1 overall picks, the Derrick Roses, the Blake Griffins. It was gonna be Andrea Bargnani, Elton Brand. I knew.
Michael Thompson, David Thompson.
Didn't throw in Akeem, of course. Always a way to
Wow.
throw Akeem in the episode.
Well, he's the GOAT, so.
No,
Wow.
I mean, no.
Were you going to say statistically?
Statistically, no.
Actually, Wilt Chamberlain's the GOAT then.
I mean, Will Chamberlain should probably be
Hmm.
in the GOAT conversation.
Locked.
Hakeem would absolutely cook Wilt.
Incorrect.
He
Wait, what?
dropped 50 on him easy. 50 and 20
Okay.
easy.
The dream shake on and it's over.
It's over. All right, AJ, we'll go to you first.
I don't know. I have no idea. I got no clue. Especially with the whole rap thing. I was like, who the hell's Joe? Who is Joe? That's what I was thinking about the whole time. So, only Joe I could think of is not the right Joe. I did just lock in Joe Dumars. Not it, but I don't know. I couldn't
Did you
think
throw a year out?
could throw it out. 19. Oh, when was Joe Dumars drafted? 1985.
Right. And Brock.
Hey, dude, that was actually really close. I think Dumars is in the 84 draft class with Michael and Hakeem. I think that's really close.
I knew he was around there. Yeah, I knew he was somewhere around Michael.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the Warriors were one of those teams that have never had the number one overall draft class. This must be a really old guy, because obviously I can't think of anything recent or in the 80s or the 90s of the Warriors getting the number one overall pick. So I went with Nate Thurmond, Nate Joe Thurmond. You ever heard of him?
Oh shit, Nate Joe.
Nate Joe Thurmond. Then 76 for the draft class.
All right. Once again, no points. No points thrown out here. This man's name is Joe, not Nate. And going by the teams, I thought maybe that would help get you an era, because I did say the Thunder. I said the Timberwolves.
I know.
You know?
I knew Dumars was wrong, but it was the only Joe I could think of.
Yeah, and actually, Brock, our resident Timberwolves fan, this guy had his best part of his career was on the Timberwolves. He played 4 seasons, averaged 10 points.
Oh, 10 points, yeah. Shut up.
For 4.
What's his name? 10 points and 7 boards.
That's not that great.
He's fine.
That's like Marvin Bagley numbers. That's not that great.
Okay, well, Joe Beast, as many of us know him as the rapper, his government name is Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
Joe, okay.
Yep, taken first overall in 1995. Good old Joe Smith. Underwhelming name, underwhelming player.
But I'm supposed to remember him because he played on the Wolves and averaged 10 and 7.
Wait, did Joe Smith? Am I thinking of? Is there another Joe Smith that played on the Hawks, or is this that one? Is there Joe
Smith.
Josh Smith played on the Hawks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Joe Smith also did play on the Hawks for one season in 2009, 2010.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. I love that.
Yeah, he averaged 3 points a game for that team. So you might be thinking
He's busy
of him.
writing his raps, man. He was writing on the bench.
Absolute stellar career for this guy.
Yeah.
Move on.
Okay, fine. So Brock's still up by 3, 4 points to 1. On to our last question of the first round. Question number 7. In his 3rd NBA season, this player was called up from the Army Reserves to active duty and could only play NBA games on the weekends. And he couldn't even practice with the team because he was at the base during the week. That season, he averaged 38.3 points and 18.6 rebounds and scored 61 points in a finals game. Who is it?
I'm locked in. I'm very upset with you if this is incorrect.
I feel like there's bait again.
Yeah, I feel like
Bait again?
it took me so hard. And
I don't even know if there's bait.
I think
I'm gonna do it too, but stats, I don't know. His stats almost, and the scenario makes me think old, but I'm locked too.
All right. Brock?
it's got to be David Robinson, right? It has to be him. I mean, I know he dropped a lot of points in one game. So 60, I mean, not many people are dropping 61. I don't know about him unless your name is. Who's the third guy we talked about? I already forgot his name.
David Thompson?
Yeah, that guy. So, yeah, David Robinson, I think he's the 87 draft class, #1 overall pick by the Spurs.
And AJ.
Yeah, I went David Robinson too. Those stats are so high though on the weekends. It makes me think he's old. He's got to be. It's not. I don't. I think it's some old player that I'm not going to know. But I feel pretty good about my draft year, at least for David Robinson, because I put 1988. So, but gosh, I really think it's somebody way in the past. It's such a ridiculous scenario, and yeah. Anyways, yeah.
It is a pretty ridiculous scenario, which is why I didn't think you'd both say David Robinson, because it's pretty absurd to have happened in like the 90s. You know,
That I know,
a guy
right?
playing
Yeah, there's no
basketball
way.
professionally, but just on the weekends. You know,
No.
like a hobby player. No, so it's not David Robinson, and also 38 and 18. That's old number. That's old school numbers. And the guy I was looking for was the first overall pick in 1958. And that would
Oh
be
my
a
God.
name you all know. A name you all know. Elgin
Will?
Baylor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be some old guy. I don't know. Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
No, how
I
about
know
a
Elgin.
bona fide legend?
I didn't know.
Damn. So he played.
Oh, it's the only like military, like you bring up the military NBA, my mind just goes right to David Robinson. So like, it was over at the beginning.
Fair. I honestly didn't even think that much about David Robinson. When you guys said it was bait, I was like, what bait? And I was like, oh, yeah, they probably think it's David Robinson.
How long was this going on? How long was he in the army or military doing this?
He only got called up to active duty for like one season.
You just play on the weekends? Damn.
Yeah.
Just play on the weekends. What an yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't even practice. Like he lived on the base Monday through Friday and then could show up and hop into the games on the weekends.
What do you think?
Drop 38 and 18.
Practice is like, all right, we're gonna draw this play up, and then Elgin's probably just gonna score here, so let's just run it like he, and then like
Yeah.
seriously, it's like he's dropping 38, 18.
Right.
So it's just like he's gonna do all the scoring. So it's just like
Right. I feel like everybody else doesn't have to practice at that point either.
no, you don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately, no points awarded there, you fucking skunks. And
Damn.
so we've got Brock up 4-1 going into the final round. Plenty of points available in the last round. We're not doing anything. We're not reinventing the wheel here. This is a classic ping pong round. And I am only going to give you one free miss. Because the list isn't incredibly long, and I don't think it's incredibly difficult. The list is players that meet two criterion. They were drafted #1 overall, and they won Rookie of the Year. If they meet those two criteria, they're on the list. It does, co-Rookie of the Year does count. And that's where it sits. That's going to be the ping pong round. You're going to get one free miss. Second miss, you're done. And we're going to start with AJ.
LeBron James.
Hey, LeBron James, that's a good clean pick right there.
Elton Brand.
Yeah, kind of gave you that one out there somewhere. But that's correct.
Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying.
Yep, just
But
in
it
case
was-
you didn't know.
O'Neal, yeah. First name Shaq, last name Eel O'Neal.
I feel like Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard. I am not seeing a Dwight Howard. Let me double check. Let's pause that quick because
Who would have won it over Dwight?
Yeah, that one seems. I don't know. That one seems close if he didn't get it.
The league hates Dwight.
I hate to say this.
Oh my
He did not. He did not win Rookie of the Year. Do we want to know who did? Because he's not on the list.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Emeka Okafor. Beat him for Rookie of the Year.
Well, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, indeed. Not only beat him for Rookie of the Year, but was another center. Wasn't even the best center in the rookie class, apparently. At least not for his rookie year.
Dwight Howard.
So Brock has a strike. AJ is 2 points away.
Oh my god.
This one's gonna be finicky. I'm trying to just say recents. I think technically, Ben Simmons would qualify, right? Ben Simmons would be it.
Ben Simmons does qualify. He was a number
Oh,
one
yeah.
overall pick, and he won Rookie of the Year.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Those were the two qualifiers, and he meets them both.
Donovan Mitchell should have a Rookie of the Year, not that bum.
So AJ just 1 point away from Brock, who has a strike.
Weber had to win Rookie of the Year. I'm going Chris Weber.
Weber, comma, Chris is here.
We're back on track.
Okay, this is where. Yeah. No, this could potentially sound very stupid, but I'm gonna go number one overall pick, Keem Olajuwon.
That's
I
going
don't
to be a
know
strike there, big
That's
dog.
fine. I can't. I know. I was like, maybe.
Michael would have
Maybe
won
just-
Rookie of the Year, yeah.
I know, but maybe just in his rookie year, maybe it was a little slower because the Bulls team was real bad. But I understand.
No,
I'm trying to think of
Michael stole
anybody.
it from its rightful owner, Hakeem.
Okay.
Calm down on that one.
Still a 2 point deficit in favor of Brock.
So, let's go with my boy Cat. Oh, number one overall pick, 2015. Definitely won Rookie of the Year.
Correct.
I'm gonna go Allen Iverson.
Correct.
Hey, all right.
Wiggins.
Wiggins, comma, Andrew is correct.
I think the Wolves are the only team ever to have back-to-back number one overall picks and have them both win Rookie of the Year.
Oh, you know a lot about the Wolves for a guy who didn't know who Joe Smith was.
I don't think anyone who knew
Ooh,
who
that's
Smith
true.
was besides you.
Shut up.
How many people are still? How many names are still on the list? Is it quite a few?
I'll count them up quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Wow. Okay. And I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just gonna throw out. Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan is correct.
Oh, Jesus. Jeez. I'm walking on a tightrope right now.
Let's go with. What about Derrick Rose?
Derrick Rose is correct.
Oh, that's a good one.
AJ needs a correct answer to stay alive, to keep the game alive.
I know, and I got a name. I don't feel like this is right. But I think I'm forgetting whoever the rookie of the year actually is for this year. And I'm just whatever. Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball beat him. Who got rookie of the year that year? Was it LaMelo?
Anthony Edwards.
Thought I was forgetting a third
is
guy, and I was like, no, there's a third guy.
Incorrect. That's the ball game. Brock takes the dub with a score of 8-6. Any other guesses we want to throw out? Otherwise, I can just go through it. Kyrie's here, yeah.
Blake Griffin.
Shit.
Yep.
Was Yao Ming? Did Yao Ming win Rookie of the Year? No, two.
Nope.
Oh, I had Ewing.
Yeah, Ewing's here.
And that was it, because Magic didn't win it, right? Larry won it. Or were they in two separate years? We had a whole episode on it, and I still don't remember.
Larry won Rookie of the Year.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and then Magic won the title as Rookie Year. So yeah, you guys did real good on all the modern ones. The only ones that were left were ones Brock now said, Kyrie and Blake Griffin. And then goes back to 92 would be the most recent. And I'll just work my way backwards with these names. Larry Johnson, Grandmama. Derek Coleman. We had David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Ralph Sampson. Big Ralph. Lou Alcindor at the time. Eventually Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then some real old school names. We got Walt Bellamy, Elgin Baylor, and Ray Felix, the first number 1 overall pick. Ray Felix won Rookie of the Year.
Man.
Shout out Ray Felix, man.
Noticing no slant. Where's Horse?
Elton Brand? Oh, well, he was said. Brock said him.
Oh, yeah. Brock said him. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay.
The big slant.
Big slant. They're awesome nicknames.
Yeah, old school Chevy. All right.
I think you just owned a horse.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe like his first day of practice, he didn't drive a car to work. Or maybe his first day of practice, he drove an old school Chevy. And so people showed up and they didn't know his name was Elton Brand. And they just went, old school Chevy. And then they were like, okay, yeah, we'll call him. Then the next day, he drove a horse in. And they were like, horse? And he was like, yeah, you can call me that.
He didn't like the old school Chevy, so he brought a horse.
Yeah. So he went on a 3-hour horse ride back and forth from practice every day. Could be. All right. Well, that wraps up episode 2 of season 8 of Jump Ball. This one about the number 1 overall picks. We'll talk about number 1 overall picks, I'm sure. At a pointer, you'll hear a whole hell of a lot about Victor Wembanyama as the time comes. But until then, thanks for listening, everybody. Give us 5 stars on whatever podcast platform you listen to or else. And,
make a threat to our listeners.
Well.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know.
Guy with a 2-star rating. That's all I want. I just want a name.
Well, you can't ask people to, dox a guy. So. Yeah, so buy some merch, buy a mouse pad or something. I don't give a shit. Just kidding, I do give a shit. Yeah, merch, link in bio. We got TikTok. AJ's pumping out some TikTok content. Sort of.
I'm trying.
Yeah, TikTok's security is really being a thorn in our side right now, but
agree.
I don't know what's. I mean, yeah, we can talk it off pod, but I don't know what's happening. I wonder if it's because I'm like doing it on the computer and TikTok's like, why are you not using your phone, idiot? This is our whole thing. I'm trying to post the TikToks.
Yeah. But so follow us.
Right.
Maybe that'll help TikTok get off our back if they know people want to actually see it. We're not
Yeah,
bots. So go follow us everywhere. Oh my god, it's snowing. That pisses me off. All right. Well, with that said, bye everybody.